Hi, it's Deborah Carter here with Preparation Tech. Today I'm speaking with Miral Kotb, who is not only a dancer, but also a software engineer and the CEO of a company called iLuminate. iLuminate is an entertainment company that uses technology to create these amazing experiences. I had the privilege of seeing iLuminate perform in Switzerland a year ago in front of 3,000 high school students. It's easy to talk about it, but I'm just going to show you a clip so that you get an idea of what they do.
Best act on the live shows. Best new act in America. By far, the best thing I have seen on this show.
You all are a world-class act.
That is a $1 million act right there.
It's groundbreaking what you do. It's incredible. It's breathtaking.
Welcome, Miral. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you do.
Thank you for that amazing introduction, and thank you for what you do. I think kids in tech, it's the future, and it's such a fun field and such a vast field. There's so many different ways to be in tech. And especially so many different creative ways to be in tech. So I always think of myself as an artist first in everything I do, very, very much driven by expression. And so I have a background in dance and in technology. I started writing software when I was 9 years old because I just was really interested in writing my own games, which is a lot of kids who start actually are inspired by writing games that they can play, that their friends can play, that their family could play. So when my parents got the desktop, I really pushed them to put me in tech in a computer science class. And since then, the bug never left. I just always wanted to be a critical thinker and explored ideas and so I just continued writing software, and I also continued to dance. But then when I graduated college with a computer science degree, I decided to focus on computers for a year, and I worked at Bloomberg Financial as a software engineer, writing software for the ticker plant, which is basically the back end for trading. And then I was going to quit to dance professionally, but then life had a different path for me when I was diagnosed with cancer. So I changed my course to focus on computers. And I really excelled at Bloomberg and found that I love it. I found the creativity behind software again. I found the fact that every day I'm making decisions that, are very, very creative, very unique, and no one problem can be solved the same way. And that's what really kept me inspired through the years. Then I decided, you know what, my two loves don't have to be separate. And so then I was at an Apple developer conference, and they were talking about how wireless chips were getting smaller and smaller, and they can be put into different devices. And so I started thinking, what can I do with an iPhone app and a dancer? And it started with like an interactive kind of museum type installation that turned into this whole entertainment system that became iLuminate. And kind of since then, it's been a crazy ride, from working with major recording artists like Chris Brown, Black Eyed Peas, Christina Aguilera, to Austin Mahone, to different people. And then we have shows at theme parks, on cruise ships, we do private events, we have a touring family show, a New York show, and we hope to open in Vegas when it's safe. So it's been a crazy ride, and it's all started with this love for technology.
Wow. Tell us about the Vegas show, if you can. I mean, it's a Vegas show. I mean, it's amazing.
It's exciting. Everything about the Vegas show is new. We started ideating on it a year ago, and it just kind of started to turn into something when we got the space with Planet Hollywood, and we got the team together. We're using new technology, new software, new light suits, new team of choreographers, alongside the people who've been with the company for 8 years. So it's a great intersection of ideas, thoughts, inspiration, and it's just such a fun space. The show is called Happy Hour, and it's all about taking an hour out of your day to just be happy. And we take you on like almost time travel through the ages, happy hour through the ages. It's PG-13 show because it's Vegas, but it's still a lot of fun. And we're using some apps, we're partnering with some apps like Discord and to give the audience a very unique experience. So it's very tech driven. Everything we do is tech driven. So it's just a really fun show. We have comedians in the show in addition to dancers. So it's meant to be an hour you take out of your day to just smile, laugh, and enjoy and be mesmerized by the lights.
Oh, sounds awesome. For people who don't know about iLuminate, can you give us a really simple description of what you do and kind of describe it so they get a sense?
Of course. So what we do is we put dancers in these light suits that we create. And what makes our light suits unique is that we've created proprietary hardware and software so that the lights are completely controllable wirelessly. So the choreography and the dance must be like this because the light cues are written and the dancing is choreographed. And when they're executed together, it makes for this seamless art form that's embedded in the music. So the beats of the music, the beats of the dance, and the beats of the lights all come together to create this very exciting light performance. And there's illusions. People can appear and disappear. People can grow two heads, because we work in the dark. So it's a magic show, a dance show, a technology show. It's just a fun show.
Awesome. So how did you get, where did your interest start? Do you remember when you were really young, you were into dance? Did you go to dance lessons? How did you become passionate about this from a young age?
Well, it's in my blood. My father is a dancer, and he danced in Egypt, where we're from, with the National Folkloric Dance Troupe. And so he kind of passed it down, and belly dancing is a big part of the Egyptian culture. So my first dance outfit was actually made by my grandma when I was 5. She came from Egypt, and me and my cousins had all these cute belly dance outfits she made us, and we just dance around and put music on. So dance was always something to celebrate life through. It was always a way to celebrate life. That was the culture of dance that I was raised with, and so it just stuck with me.
Interesting. Well, what kind of person thrives in your fields? Because I think a lot of parents and teachers and school guidance counselors, they struggle to find out how to advise kids where to go in terms of study paths, especially. So based on your experience, what kind of person really thrives at this intersection of arts, entertainment, and technology? What are the characteristics and the mindset?
I think for sure, curiosity. Curiosity has to be something that drives people, because it's not the type of field where you want to be told what to do all the time. There's not one solution to a problem. And I think that someone who's inspired by that thrives because they love the fact that they can create something that's unique and no one else could come up with a solution quite that way. Also, I think people who are just love problem solving, silly things like playing Sudoku or crosswords, or just always wanting to keep the mind going, trying to solve problems, those murder mysteries, trying to figure out all the pieces you have, to putting them together in different ways to find solutions or find new ways of doing things. Just the curiosity and the critical thinking are the two, I'd say, top skills to thrive in a world of tech and art.
Mm-hmm. Great. And can you describe some of the different roles? So you've got these teams. So what kind of roles are there on your team? You've got programmers, obviously, but what else do you have in terms of tech?
So many. Software developers, hardware engineers, techs who do all the soldering, the crimping, the putting the suits together, wardrobe, they stitch the suits, they add the lights, they create the unitards, stylists or sketch artists who create the looks, designers who come up with how will it look in the dark, how do we design a show for our audience, and then of course, even the people on more of an administrative side are artists, project managers, office managers, business managers. Then you have the dancers, the choreographers, the creative team, even the people who are just trying to make sure that we're able to be organized, and assistants. And it's just, everybody plays such a key role to make this machine kind of keep moving. And I think what's most important is that we make sure we bring in people who are self-motivated, self-driven, and want to see the difference that they make, to understand that that when they come into work every day, they are making a difference in how we do things. They're not just coming to be told what to do, but they come in with, again, curiosity, critical thinking, and a desire to better than, so we're always innovating. We're always pushing we never want to just say, okay, we've made it, because you never, as an artist, you never make it. You just the bar just keeps going higher. You just have more tools to create more and more and more. So all sorts of people to make the show happen.
Great. So what kind of, what do you need to study to get into this? Can you suggest like study paths? Is it dance and computer science mixed, or,
I think rather than trying to say, oh, dance and technology, I think what I push people to do is find things that they love that may seem very polar opposite, and figure out how to merge them. So if you love baseball and you love math, where can you intersect the two? Because clearly there's a lot of intersection, right, with all the statistics and stuff. So I think finding things that you love and seeing how to merge them makes for always innovating and finding new ways of doing things. And then on a more of a technology side, I think the skill set, again, is starting with just how do you solve problems. It doesn't have to start with writing your first hello world programming, which is kind of how you write code, because sometimes that's a bit daunting, because coding it's a language, right? But a language to get certain instructions to happen so that you can have an outcome. So I think if it's not gelling to write software, then taking a step back and just looking at how you solve problems, and looking more at like critical thinking type classes, mathematical statistics, how do you organize data yourself, how do you stay top on your schedule, like this. All these skill sets are important, because then once you get to the actual coding part, all you're really doing is taking all those skills and using a new language and a new way of organizing them to tell a story or to create a product. So just really sharpening your mind will make you a very strong coder.
Yeah, great. Sharpening your mind is good for everything, basically.
For everything.
Can you recommend any schools? Are there any schools that really inspire you where you could go to learn? They have a unique approach to this.
That's a good question. I have to be honest, I'm trying to get more into the education side, because having run iLuminate, I'm very much focused on the product and the shows and the such. So we're really trying to focus more on education. We have programs that we've done with people like Education First, Skype in the Classroom, Google had Made with Code. So I've partnered with different organizations, but as far as schools, I haven't had the chance to really see what's going on in that world. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't want to give the wrong answer.
Okay, no problem. My last question to you is, what advice would you give to kids and their parents and their teachers and their school counselors on how to start cultivating this, preparing them to be at this intersection? What concrete things could they do? You mentioned gaming, developing games, for example. What other things can you think about?
I think one thing that made it possible for me to always stay motivated was that I, in my mind, always created problems to solve that didn't really exist. Just because my mind just, I have ADHD. My mind was always wandering around. So I would always create these things like, random things, like when I would decided that I wanted to help with the grocery shopping, but I wanted to budget everything before my mom went. And so I started learning how to cut coupons, and I was maybe 8 or 9, and I was trying to make the grocery list and what's the budget and how long can we keep. I was really into that. So And all of that is like, you can write an app now to do that, right? But it's, what is writing an app? It's taking all the things that you would probably do, all the steps you take, and it's thinking, okay, what's the same about all these steps? How can we turn this into a function, into a product? So I think creating fun little tasks that have a artistic and technical and usable outcome is helpful. So right now, if we're through this crisis right now, I think budgets are tight. We're trying to stretch what's at the house. We're trying to be creative about what we use, how we spend money, how we save, so I think letting the kids be a part of the solution could actually help them feel like, oh, this is how, when I think about this, it affects this, which affects this. And I actually helped us save this much money so I think helping kids be a part of the solution keeps them motivated, because they see it's not just, why am I studying this? Why am I learning math? But it's actually like, oh, that's why. Because that's a missing step sometimes. You get so much into the one world that it gets too abstract.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So being practical. Yeah.
Practical.
Yeah. Miral, this was great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up the interview?
I would just keep being yourself. Always. That's gonna always be what sets you apart. That's it. It's the best advice I could give to kids, because when I was growing up, that wasn't the advice going around. And I think it's important that we remember that we are each unique individuals.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Miral, and you take care in quarantine in Miami.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deborah, and thank you for what you do. This is so important. Thank you.
The very talented iLuminate.
What a great idea. The outcome, a dazzling display of technology coupled with some cool moves that wowed the judges on America's Got Talent.
A Brooklyn woman who loves dance and computers decided why not combine the two.
So cool. Can we just say that's so cool? Fantastic. Wow.
They blew us all away with their innovative light suits and their amazing dance moves. So good. So great. Earth did you come up with iLuminate?
And it used to be I danced for my heart and software was more for my mind. And I just decided what would I do if I brought them together, and this is what I came up with.